So it is late September and we are planning to take our final big cruise for the year. We are going to take the boat from Philadelphia, where we're right now, to Annapolis for a long weekend. We'll stop at Chesapeake City Marina halfway, and on day 2 we'll go the rest of the route down to Annapolis. We plan to spend Friday, Saturday night, and then start heading back again, stopping at Chesapeake City Marina, and coming back to Philadelphia Monday or Tuesday. I thought I'd go through the checklist of what we do before we leave on a trip like this, and I'm going to start working on the engines, checking the fluids. Lynn's been busy securing anything that will fall in waves, anything breakable, loose, she puts on the floor, secures on the sofas, things like that. So while she's doing that, I'm going to go down and check the fluids on the engines before I start them up and get them warmed up for the trip. So follow me. So the first fluid you have to check, the coffee. If we're not filled up with coffee, nothing works. So I'm going to come into the engine room. I'm going to check the oil first. It should be good, but you never know. And last thing I want to do is run an engine that is low in oil. And dipsticks on this side of the engine, of course.
I'd see that, but.
And we are perfect.
I have to check the gas too.
So we're good with oil. Let me check the coolant. Yeah, we're good with coolant too. Okay, and of course I'm going to go across the hall and check the fluids on the other engine as well.
Don't you wipe it off and then put it back in, or is it okay?
Well, the engine hasn't been warmed up or moved, so it's I can read it pretty easy. This one's good as well. Probably use maybe a half a quart. And we're good too. Okay. The next step I have to do is turn the engine, the electric to the engines on. And then we also have a switch for our 32 volt systems, which turns on the anchor, the radios, the chart plotters, anything that is not necessary for 32 volts gets turned off when we get to dock. And I turn it back on just so I don't wear out the batteries, I guess. Now, one other thing that we do every time we leave is I check the level in the radiator filters, because we've had some issues where we've been getting air in them if the boat sits for any length of time. And if it is, then we just bleed them to top them off so we don't get any air pockets going to the engine. So let's see what we have here. And it is low. It should be up to the top.
A little more? A little more? Okay. That's probably good. There's a gasket that's down. You should check that.
Where?
In that thing, in the radiator filter.
That's not a gasket.
Oh, what is that?
That's the thing that you grab onto to pull it up. It has a little handle on it, see? You use that to pull it out.
Oh, okay, I didn't. Oh, learn something new every day.
So put a little fuel around the gasket. The boat's been sitting for a couple of weeks, and I usually shut the valves off so it doesn't have the ability to siphon back into the engine. But I forgot to do that last time, so that's probably why we're a little low. But it's very important that we do that, and we found that we only have to do it on this engine. I never have an issue on the starboard. It's always the port for some reason. So I think I need to replace the gaskets.
Okay, what about that other thing we bleed?
Yeah, I'm going to do that now. Now I also loosen up this fuel line too, and I
can't really see.
just to make sure I have no air in it. I just noticed that once in a while when the Raycor filter gets a little air in it, sometimes I get air in this line as well. So just to be sure, because the last thing I want to do is start this boat up, start pulling it out of the marina, and have this engine stall on me.
I had that happen once.
Yeah, that's happened before, and that's why I always do this. Okay. Now over here, we're fortunate in that we have an automatic bleeding system or feed for fuel. So if I block the fuel from being able to return back to the engine and I pull these, it will feed the Raycor filters. And so I just turned the electric power to this engine on as well. There's a switch. And then the last thing I have to do down here is turn on our electronic throttle controls.
What's that?
That's this black box right here. There's one for each engine. So I have them both on now. And the beeping you hear is the throttle controls. And the reason they're beeping is I have not yet assigned whether it's the upper helm or lower helm. So as soon as I push this button right here,
what button was that?
just right here at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That basically assigned the throttles at the lower helm as the ones I'm going to be using. So now that I've got all the fluids checked, I'm going to start the engines. I turned the ignitions on, and I had the engine room doors open, and I always started from the lower helm so I can hear in case something sounds strange when I turn them on. Port, starboard.
What's that beeping?
That beeping is because out of the 3 oil gauges we have on the starboard engine, one of them doesn't work. I don't know why. And this is just warning me that I have low oil. I really don't. It's a bad gauge. The other 2 are telling me fine. I've got about 30 PSI on that engine and 40 on this one. That's been about standard. I don't know whether the gauges are accurate, but that's what I usually see here. But you see this water temp gauge here that's pinned, that's not working. And that's what that alarm was telling me, that that's not working. But I have another one on the upper helm, I have another one down at the engine, and they are working. So next thing I do is I go down. It's going to get a little bit noisy, but I always go check the engines after I turn them on just to make sure I don't see anything odd like smoke or oil or anything like that. Everything seems good, so we're going to let her warm up for about 15 minutes.
What, your butt?
And while we do that, we're going to start loosening up our lines, bringing up the mark whip steps, and just getting ready to push off. Now the wind and the current are basically pushing us either neutral or towards the dock. So that works out well for us because all of our lines, except for this one spring line, are basically loose, so we're not going to have any problem drifting after we take them off. So we're going to remove the mark whip steps. Lynn's taking off the lines that are currently doing nothing. I'm going to go disconnect the water, and then I'll do the electricity as well. Okay, you can release the valve. Got everything off with the bow and the stern lines right now, and I'm having her do the bow first because just I have a little bit more control over the bow because of the bow thruster, so I can push us right back. So she gives me the all clear, I'll back her up. Is that clear? Did you say I'm clear? Put some floating barge behind me because it looks like they're going to be painting this boat, which is a little bit of a pain in the neck. This ship, the Liberty, or Spirit rather, this one's a Spirit, there's a Liberty, there's a Franklin. It's always parked right at the exit to our marina. There's plenty of room to get through, but it'd be a whole lot more if they park somewhere else.
So this is the Delaware Memorial Bridge, and we are traveling to Chesapeake in Marina, and the current's against us. We got like 2 knots against us, but we had no choice because we have to arrive at the marina at full tide, otherwise we won't get in, because at low tide it's really shallow. Right, Captain?
Yep. So we've been on the water for about almost 3 hours since we left Philadelphia. And it's about a 4-hour trip altogether. I've been just going at 1,300 RPMs basically all the way, and I'm about to open it up a little bit because I've always heard that once, every couple of hours you should open it up to kind of blow the carbon out of these diesels. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I don't mind opening it up a little bit every now and then anyway. Especially since we got 2 knots against us. We're getting 8.3 now, and I hate going that slow.
Yep.
So here we go, I'll take her out. That's 1,800 RPMs, and I'm still only getting 10 knots. Normally I get 10 knots at 1,200 RPMs if I have neutral current. So that's how much we're fighting.
So this is the east side of the C&D, the mouth of it we're entering, which hooks up to the Delaware River. And one of our markers that we know we're getting close is the nuclear power plant over there. And it's kind of how you know you're getting close. So we're now entering the mouth of the C&D Canal.
Right at the entrance here to the C&D, you get a lot of strange circular currents from depending on which way the Delaware is running at the time and whether it's filling or emptying. Right now it's slightly emptying into the Delaware, and the Delaware is also draining that way, and it's the first time I hit it going real slow in a small boat. It was a real surprise.
It spun us.
Yeah, it almost spun us around, but in this boat, as long as you're going at a decent speed, we're going 9 knots in a big boat, it doesn't matter. But I wouldn't hit it slow if you're in a little boat, because it could, depending on the way it's going, it's not always that way. Sometimes it's very smooth, depends on which way the rivers and the canal are running, but it can surprise you, so be forewarned. Keep your hands on the wheel as you go in and out.
There's also 2 jetties on each side. And I imagine at times they are hard to see. So straight ahead. After this railroad bridge, there's a marina called Summit North, and you can get gas in there. Every time we've been there, the gas attendant has always been late, so we kind of had to hook ourselves up. So be ready for that if you do get gas there. That's the entrance to Summit North. And you gotta go down. And they put the big boats on the sides. Yeah.
Chesapeake City Marina, Chesapeake City Marina. This is Triton coming in for a transient slip. Over.
Triton, this is Chesapeake in. Switch and answer to 6-9.
Going to 6-9, over. This is Triton on 6-9.
short assignment for you, but we'll have to list inside. I'll be right back out and give you your direction.
Okay, on hold.
I wrap these so the hoop is on the hoop's ready to go, the eye, and I just bring it over the railing, leaving the rope down bottom, and hook it that way. It's easier. It's really calm out here today, so I'm setting them up early. And I do both sides because there has been times where he had to switch the side he was gonna dock on. So I just like to be ready. It's a little messy in here because whatever. Messy. I'll clean this up and so be ready to go to throw the line when needed. And that's what I do. This is still tangly. Sucks when they wrap around each other. You want it to be real smooth. So when you throw the line to the dock hands, it's not all twisty on them. And these I just leave ready inside and I shut the door so the fumes don't come in. But that's pretty much it. So we're just waiting to get up the C&D to see our marina, and then I'll run out and put the fenders on. And there's Chase, crew member on this trip. spinning it. Oh. Kicking up dirt. Oh, shit.
Wind should work in your favor.
We're just dredging it for you.
You know what? Tide's up pretty high.
Yeah, that's
at,
what.
at low tide, even jet skis kick up mud in here. It's crazy. It's just so soft down there. Let's come back a little bit, Captain. Come back.
Come back a little bit.
That's good enough for me.
Halt.
I think we'll just need one of these lines.
All right.
So I can take that one or this one. It's up to you.
It doesn't matter. Whatever one.
Then I'll take that bow line, please.
So I like how I do my lines. I like wrapping this around like that and shoving it through there, because then I got a handle. See? And that's the first thing I want out anyway, is the eye. So, because I hook that onto the boat and throw the lines to the dock.